Hello, welcome back, everybody, to the Climate Marketing Workshop series at West LA City College Climate Center Education, Climate Change Education Center at West LA City College. Um, so I thought what we would do tonight, I have, as I brought up before, I have this sort of task of making these flyers, and there's only one more lecture that's going to happen, and it's my friend Michelle. So what I was planning on doing is this working on this flyer, and what I'm going to do is duplicate this document. And what I'd like is for anybody here who has access to Canva, I'll put the link to the file in there, and I want you to make a version of any one of these with yourself on it. And it'll be a great way for you to ask questions specifically about Canva, you know. If you don't want to do yourself, just do somebody else. It's okay. But yourself might be fun. There's a bunch of different layouts here. You can choose any of them. Just duplicate it before you do it. Some of them aren't finished. Actually, I'm going to delete that. Yeah, there's a couple I duplicated them. A lot of times, like if I'm not sure about something, I'll duplicate it and then I'll have something to come back to. Kind of like a massive undo. I'm sure you've all done that. Yeah, so what I'm trying to do here is I'm gonna make this flyer for Michelle and get it to her quickly so that we can promote. And then I'm still going back in time and looking at some of the flyers I did in the beginning, and I just want to sort of update them to match the more recent color palette and design decisions. And I'm sure we all remember during Rachel's presentation. If you didn't see it, I highly recommend looking at the recorded session. It's really good. Um, but when we looked at her, uh, she showed us her Figma, or not Figma, her Canva file for the campaign that they were running for the LA Soil Week, I think it was, for the climate designers. And I was so inspired looking at that page of all the kinds of things that they were planning on doing on social media, and sort of like the different kinds of posts, and everything was contained in that file. And it's like a command center for a social media campaign. And Canva actually has built-in scheduling tools where you can uh, give it your credentials and it will log in and post things on a schedule and manage it. And that's really amazing stuff. So I'm just going to keep working on this, and I'm going to talk about like the design decisions as I go. Um, and so, okay, what I'll do is I'm going to go back to my files and I'm going to make a duplicate of this, make a copy. And then I'm going to share this with all of you. View access. Anyone with the link can edit. All right. Paste this. It's always hard to find the chat when you're sharing. See that? I pasted the link. Oh, I see people are in here. Cool. Yeah, so just grab a, oh, I'm gonna share this again. Yeah, just grab a layout, duplicate it, and make a new one. Um, like I mentioned, I'm trying to sort of build a little bit of a brand story for this. Like, imagine this being a package, and it's too late, but this is something that that the Climate Change Education Center can use. Maybe you just change the colors, and then you have a ready to go campaign for the next workshop. Um, so I'm thinking about this as a package, and there's there's like type choices, palettes, but over here in this brand section on Canva, there's space for assets and graphics and stuff. So I'm going to start collecting things that I have developed for this and putting them in there. Desiree and Emmy, this will be available to you. So that's my goal, is to make this into like in a way the same assignment that you're all doing, which is to make a campaign or something like it. So I'm here on the same journey. Um, so first things first, I'm gonna do this one over here. Were you all able to log? Okay, I see some people logged in there. Anybody having any difficulty duplicating a layout or anything? Good. Lily, did you have something to say? You can unmute yourself anytime. It's okay. But thank you for raising your hand.
I don't want to distract you from all your thoughts. Yeah, I'm trying to get the idea. We are going to get a new um flyer based on those or
The
something.
idea is that, right, we can use this session to ask questions about Canva and design choices and stuff. So like if you duplicate one of these, like make it down here on the bottom, there's these little dots on each one. Like if I go over here to Amanda Lapham,
Hmm.
and then there's these three little dots. If I click that and I say uh, duplicate page,
Hmm.
then now we have a second page, and this will be for whoever wants it. And you can change the name here. Um, and get rid of this picture and find a picture of yourself or a picture of somebody else. And I'm just trying to get people to practice. What I really like is if you try to take some of these elements on the page
Hmm.
and try arranging them differently, and seeing how they do. Like maybe instead of rotated one way, it's rotated the other way on a new one. You know,
Okay.
but think about the layout and everything, and as we get going, I can look at what you're doing and we can talk about it. And I think that we'll get a lot out of this. But it just requires a little bit of interaction.
Okay.
Sound
Thank
good?
you. Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
So yeah, around the time of Amanda Lapham's lecture, I kind of fell on this design strategy of sort of having these rotated framing elements. Um, and I stuck with it from there. So that's kind of like something I'm thinking about for the next one with Michelle. Margaret and Rachel they were both climate designers people, so I was like, maybe let's just give them the exact same layout. Maybe if they want to put this on climate designers' social media, they could do a carousel where it's 1, 2, and then a lot of times when you're flipping through things, you want it to register, you want it to look the same. So I did them the same, and then I was pressed for time, and I did Angels the same with some slight changes. Um, and yeah, like I said, this is not the time to be making decisions about a campaign for something, but I've really enjoyed over the course of the workshop, like participating in the workshop myself. And that's sort of what I'm doing here. This is a perfect example. This is climate marketing. This is what it is. Social media communication. There's plenty of ways to do climate marketing, but that's the hot one right now. I can get away with working on my. Does it sound weird? Like I feel like that would sound really strange. Two different microphones at the same time. This is a classic Casey problem. Um, yeah, okay. So I'm gonna stop sharing the other screen and just jump in here. The way I'm the way I'm achieving this sort of duotone effect on the pictures, you can see for Margaret, it's like a turquoise with dark blue as the sort of shadow color. Um, I'm doing that. There's two things I'm doing. One is this background remover tool, which I think is specific to the paid version of Canva. You click that, it deletes the background. It does a really good job of it too. And then I go to edit, and then it gives you these uh, effects. And the one that I've been using is duotone. In Photoshop, this would be called a gradient map. There's a different way to do it in every program, but you have to start with one of the ones that they choose for you, and then you can change the colors. And it doesn't let you go to your brand palette, so you have to find your brand palette somewhere on the screen. If you're really serious about sampling the colors for the duotone, you'd probably want to have them open somewhere so you can do this. So right now I'm thinking about what color would be a good like skin color for her, I guess. Just start with contrast, functional contrast. Nope. Yeah, it's going so slow. Now I'm going to sample something in here so I can get her into my palette. changed the layout a little bit. I wanted the climate change education logo to be bigger. Still feels kind of empty over there. There's a lot of ways to approach making a layout. And I kind of self-taught when it comes to this thing. Like I started working right out of high school, so I never learned the correct way to do this. But there's like a system of gridding that people use a lot to make decisions about composition and how to treat text. And it makes life easier. And what I'm doing is trying to like make something wacky and fun. Um, but it sets me up for a lot of headache, you know? Like every all the space has to be done with like sort of like a freestyle um intuition. I also enjoy when I'm working with photography and graphics, um, having the image overlapping things in the design. I mean, it's a very editorial thing to do. A lot of what I do as a designer is it's so weird. It came up last week in Angel Anderson's presentation. Is like I mean a lot of what I do is just trying to make things look cool. And I think that sometimes that's undervalued. I think a lot of times when somebody's trying to make something look cool, they're trying to make it communicate in a way that's self-aware, that's savvy. And not all people are looking for that. But some people are. I mean, I tend to like I mean, I don't think I'm like most people, but I'm analyzing everything based on the choices they make. Like the if it's low quality, I'm like, well, what's their budget? That's my first question, or not low quality, but like just not expensive. And then my brain starts analyzing that institution based on the design choices, um, without me even thinking about it. I think that some people are, most people are like that to an extent. You're walking through the grocery store and you don't have time to think about what's going to be the best decision. They have all kinds of like graphics and stuff that help you make decisions based on what you want. Like if you're like healthy or whatever. But you don't really want to go through your life that way. I apologize for rambling. Um, I hope it's okay. I don't have actual lecture all the time. After all this sort of like flyer making, I kept trying to lock up this little group of information, like the free registration QR code and everything. And then I have a bit.ly URL, which is like a shortening service that it goes to the same place. But over the weeks and months, I've tried several ways of doing that. And when I landed on this most recent one, I really liked how it locked up. That's sort of something that I'm always looking for when I'm building a library of usable assets, is how they lock up, um, how portable they are, how much headache are they going to save the person using them. I definitely wasn't thinking about that when I chose to make everything harsh design angles. If anybody has any criticism or suggestions, absolutely share them. You don't have to worry about my feelings.
Hey, Casey.
Yeah.
Not a criticism or comment yet, but I wanted to ask you, how do you remove the background again on a photo?
Oh, I think I can turn it off on this one and then do it again. Up here. Oh, I'm sorry. It's only on the paid version of Canva.
It's okay. I just got the trial.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's up here at the top on the this little bar that shows up with the options. It's the
Oh,
second
okay.
one, background remover, and it has a little crown next to it.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I had to drop it first. I was trying to do it before dropping it in. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
That thing I was just talking about, like locking up. Um, this headline text that says climate marketing doesn't lock up very well at all. And the like every time I make a new flyer, I'm kind of rethinking how it fits together, and that way that the ETI goes. I've tried so many solutions and it looks so bad. Um, I'm sick of looking at it, you know. At first I thought it was kind of cool. That's the way it always is. Unless if it stays good over time, then you know it was good. It's hard to tell in the moment. It looks so jumbly. I think that's because I changed it to lowercase. But I stand back a little bit and I'm like, this feels like a just a lot of it, a lot of information. I think that's kind of like that was my reasoning behind making it look so loud and wild, is that I wanted to stand out. I guess that's part of something that I'm always trying to do a little bit uh, as a designer. It's not always appropriate, and sometimes I'm doing it when I shouldn't be as much. But trying to look at the landscape of where it exists and have it be the best one, have it stand out, have it receive attention based on its own desirability. I think what I've learned over the past couple of weeks is that there's a lot more to it than just how cool it looks. And I mean, I've always known that. And it's something that plagues designers. I think a lot of designers get into it because they're good at drawing or they have a good taste, you know? Grid lines. Yeah, I was talking about them earlier actually. I use them all the time. All the time. But I've never used them in Canva, and I'm trying to figure out how to do that. There's got to be a way. In Adobe products, if you press Command R, it shows you the rulers, but that does not work here. I guess it refreshed the page because this is an online program. It's okay. Don't worry about it. This is what we're here for. Oh, there we go. Nice. I don't want to spoil it until you're done. Yeah, grid lines. How do we do this? If anybody knows, speak up. Hmm. Oh, elements. Oh, wait, rulers is what we're looking for. File, view settings. File, view settings. Here. Show rulers and guides. Yes, that's the, oh, it's Shift R. Press Shift R. Yes. So, this is a really good question because right now, I mean, I would touch this up like I think if you look at this one that was finished, there is like a space that starts here on the edge of the M and goes down to the corner here under the P on Powerful Design, and then over here to the bit.ly URL, and then up to the Climate Center. And I did it all by eyeballing. I'm trying to see if I can get a guide. Oh, there we go. Oh, I don't know how. There. What? This works, but oh, there we go. Man, yeah, my computer doesn't like that. So I was eyeballing it and it would have been about 40 pixels. So you don't have to make everything align to it. But if you have some things aligning to it, like this climate right here, this is really fun to talk about because I'm sort of like dissecting these kind of micro decisions I'm making that they're just second nature at this point, but intentionally not following my own rule right here. Like, and the reason why I do that is because I want this to feel a little bit like punk. I want it to feel like a little bit like it's a people's movement and not you know, and this is not something I really considered very hard. It's just a decision I made real quick because I'm used to trying to capture the intention of an objective very fast and not having any time to develop it. That's probably not the best way to do it, but that's how I'm trained. Yeah, so I broke that rule and I just, climate marketing is kind of a weird phrase. It's like kind of stuffy, like like what is marketing even like so it could mean anything, and we're not, I mean, and a lot of times with climate, it's more about like uh, persuasion than marketing. But marketing is what we call it when it's a job. So yeah, just making it a little bit hand drawn, a little bit like thrown together, maybe like graffiti or like protest poster. These are all things that were happening in my head. I'm just trying to like make something that looks tough that will appeal to people who like climate marketing. And I made a huge leap there in my head and assumed that climate, like people who are young and concerned are gonna like be okay with sort of 80s retro vaporwave weirdness with some kind of gradients. And I might be wrong about that. I'm always scared I'm going to get old and I'm going to lose my ability to sort of like pay attention to trends and be able to intuitively make decisions that sort of make the client look like they know what they're doing. You see old designers forget how to do that. Um, I made a mistake on that, like that. What I was talking about here, this 40 pixel gutter that I sort of set up in my brain around the whole edge. Um, like on Photoshop or Illustrator, there's like a menu and you say, I want one right there. But this, you have to wait for it to kind of load. Anyway, there's another one, another thing like that, and it's the spacing in between the different text blocks. And I'm doing that sort of uh, on the fly. I'm doing it intuitively, but I do have a system here, and I broke it. And I saw that right before I sent this flyer out, and I was like, I don't have any more time. But this chunk right here got moved up, and you can see the space from between with guest is a lot bigger than the space between Anderson and Sharp problems. It's because this box got bumped somehow. So I'm going to bring it down to a line with the bottom of the text in that URL. I'm going to eyeball it. There's a part of me that doesn't want to eyeball anything. And I like not listening to that part of myself because it's safe to like follow a system. And I think it's good to learn the systems that you are confronting. Um, but yeah, break them. That's how we get new stuff. Something else I would like to do for this campaign, we talked about this a while back, is to, like I started to do it here, like supporting assets, supporting pages that aren't the same thing, but like, I have no idea what the scope of the Climate Center's social media strategy is right now, but like I have sort of an imaginary version of it in my head where the climate marketing workshop is like one of the most important things going on, you know. So like you're looking at the Instagram account and there's a lot of stuff that matches, you know, it adds up as a brand. So like I just started playing around with something like this, you know, like if you have like a series of posts that are matching up, they're they're expressing sort of like a unified voice or purpose, then you can take some of your other communication and slap some of those references on, and then people will start to make the connection. And that's how you give life to your assets and your brand, like especially if you're the one using the brand that you make. Um, to keep track of the rules you set for yourself. Break them intentionally. I also want to do like this one, just thinking of phrases that could like a whole page, or it could be the first image on a carousel. Say text. learn. We went over this before, but I think like if just this, if you're scrolling Instagram, maybe you follow this account already, you know, or yeah, or maybe we're getting lucky on the algorithm, but I think it'd be provocative. Like it almost looks like one of those posters you see with the stapled to telephone poles that are made with screen printing. So there's like a a series of phrases that all have the same uh, treatment to the type. That's jargon. Type treatment is what I'm doing. It's a way to treat typography so that it looks pretty or ugly or whatever. It's putting a treatment on it. I discovered that in this font, that I, the capital I, overlaps with everything. So if you replace it with a lowercase l, that works better.
Yes. It's kind of, I guess they made it too kind of inclined to. Mhm.
Yeah, it's just
That's,
it's not a really well-made font. Like the
yeah.
people who their whole job or their whole career is engineering these fonts so that if you type a K next to a capital I, it knows how to reposition the I so that there's not a like a accidental looking overlap, and that's called they're called kerning pairs, and they're built into fonts so that they look good, and we don't see that really happening. But it takes a lot of skill and effort to build a font that does that. So a lot of times you see these fonts that are like all fun and party fonts. A lot of times like free fonts, download stuff, and they have none of that going on. So you have some cool letters, and then you're on your own making them work, and that's what's happening here. Kind of when it comes to gradients, it's just me. But I, it's like it's like a just something that makes me feel good. Like I love I love gradients and like the way that I don't know, like it's poetic to me. What happens every program has this tool where you can have one color fade to another color, and the way it chooses to treat that. Well, this is actually four colors. I have it going from turquoise to teal to purple to magenta. Maybe if I get rid of those, we'll see like something a little bit more gnarly. The way gradients interact with flat things is really interesting to me. Like I just have two objects here, but if I take this and put it in the gradient, it looks like it's steaming out like a bubble, like a in a spa or something. It's not a story I want to tell here. Yeah, it's weird. Like I don't mind when they overlap in some places. Like in Illustrator, you can go in and like choose the distance between each letter yourself. You can change the letters if you want. Um, I'm used to that kind of control. The type, it's one of my main things is the subtle sort of way that type occupies a space.
But maybe you can put an outline on it, can you?
Like another space?
No, like an outline for the
Oh,
font. Can you?
yeah, you can. If you go to that same place where we were with the picture, the effects, there's one for type too. And then you have some different styles over here, uh, different ways to outline. There's this one. The problem I was having is when the letters overlap, they the outlines overlap, which is interesting, but I want more intentionality out of it. That one. I mean, it looks, I like that, but it's starting to get really just fun for the sake of it. But if that treatment was consistent across the whole campaign, it would be memorable. I think that people would notice it. Maybe they would remember the frustration of trying to read it. They'd remember that they hate this campaign, which is better than nothing. I think there's a trap that a lot of designers get caught in is like making things look like their idea of what cool is. Um, I think just, generally speaking, people, we don't know a lot about what's going on in other people's heads as much as we think we do. There's other, I think, yeah, will that make it all back to normal? There's other ways to outline too. I like that one. It just looks weird with this font. So it's already messy. It's like I'm trying to bring some kind of
That looks nice.
it does. It does look nice. You're right. It's more legible. If you pull it just a little bit, it has the effect, like it looks like it looks like a screen print where they didn't carefully align the different colors. Oh, it's not gonna let me use the pin dropper. Yeah, little things like that are confusing for me. Like right here, if I click on this and I go to this gradient thing in the background color, then I see my document colors, and if I click on one, I can get in there and I click on the one that's selected, I can get in there and edit the gradient. Like if I wanted to add a yellow right here, there, you know. But if I go to the letters, oh, I get it. You can't do gradients in letters. Hmm. It's the same in Illustrator. I think it's too hard for the computer. I'm confused right now. Oh, I lost my There it is. Oh, it doesn't let you choose a different color for the outline. It makes it out of the color you choose. No, that's not true. I guess that's the color of the outline. No, it's the color of the fill. Uh, this is the outline. No,
The one before looked like the 3D letters.
yeah. Wait, are you talking about this one right here? Well, this one's an actual effect where it generates a graphic. I'm gonna try and find our font that we've been using. It's called Chewy. I had this problem before where I would search for the font I was using and it wouldn't show up in this section. Oh, there it is. Keeps every time I roll my mouse thing, it takes me to another page. Learn green skill, centered. I'm gonna make some more space. Are you seeing this? And then for the extrude effect, I'm gonna make it really long. Yeah. And then choose a different color. Is it not? Oh, there we go. This is something else I have to be careful of. I really enjoy putting colors next to each other that uh, people consider wrong. Like art directors will always like, if their eyes are vibrating at the edges of two colors, they'll instantly notice. And for me, I always felt like if you're able to do that to somebody's eye, like if you can physically like make their eye twitch with colors, you should probably try and do it more. That's cool stuff. Try that. I like this. I've always kind of been a sucker for this graphic solution of making something look like flat 3D shooting in from the side. And then you can just make the layout bad. So it matches. Um, I for years I did a lot of work on girls' toys, um, like creating packaging and branding and stuff for like products for girls' cartoons. The most recent one I did was called Unicorn Academy. It's on Netflix right now. But at my at the old studio that I worked at, I was known as sort of like the one who could do girl stuff. It's just actually my preference for color always leans towards pink, which part of that is that I never understood what makes that a girl's color, but culturally I see it, it happens. Yeah, so you go over here to the tool called Type Extrude, and then make all your settings, and then it generates it over here. And then you can do whatever you want with it. But if you want to change it, you have to go back and adjust your settings. Like if you want to change the color, and you make all your changes, and then you say go, and it'll generate it, which is kind of clunky. Still a cool tool though to have that feature just so kind of quick, like rather than having to think about how you're going to do it. Kind of like the way this gradient sort of mimics the energy of the text when it shoots off like that, makes it feel like it's coming up from the bottom, like kind of like, like shooting in. But since it's like flat 2D letters, it's almost sort of like making fun of that movement that it's suggesting. It's ironic. Um, but the gradient like the gradient back here, if it mimics that sort of same energy, to me, with that, what you have the option of doing here is um, suggesting that this learn green skill text is sort of like going into the light. It's coming from a dark place and it's emerging into the open. Um, and it's got something to say. I mean, the stories I'm telling myself in my head while I'm working. If you ever are going at it with design and you get to a place where you're like, Canva's not doing it for me with my gradients, it's not you, it's Canva. And if you like gradients, I recommend Illustrator. It's better than Photoshop too for gradients. The Photoshop makes banding in the gradients. You kind of have to get rid of it with blur and stuff, but on Illustrator you can make really intricate gradients, and here, I'll show you a little bit. Get rid of some of these windows here. Oh, I'm not. Am I sharing my Canva or
You were sharing, yeah.
I was trying to switch to Illustrator. I was going to do a little sales pitch on Illustrator Gradient Palette. Every time Illustrator crashes, it gives me this message. It says, would you ever recommend Illustrator to someone? How likely would you be to recommend 0 stars to 5 stars? And every time I say 0 stars, you get 0 stars because your program is so confusing and it's so expensive, and the subscription model is terrible. But yeah. So if I get maybe like a square here, a rectangle, this is my gradient palette. These are my colors. These are the ones that are on there when you just open up a new file. This is the color adjuster. These are the colors right here. And this is your gradient. So I'm going to fill it with a gradient. Right now it's black and white. But if I take one of these colors and just put it anywhere on this thing, then we start getting these beautiful color fades. This is just with the default colors. But I mean, you see how intricate you can get very quickly. Like maybe I wanted just a little, like in this purple section, just a little hint of like a more warm color before it starts fading into blue. I can go on here and then just click for a new stop on the gradient, and then I'll make a new one here. So now this one right here is protected from this one. So if I make that one different color, then it'll just happen right there. You see that? I make another one here. Because something's going on when you get to the dark blue. There's a lot more going on in that frequency. But this is all with one gradient. Whereas with Canva, it's it's very primitive. I think the right workflow is to figure out what I mean, if you're really doing this, figure out what Canva does that Illustrator doesn't, figure out why it's essential. I mean, it's essential for the just for the basic reason that it's so popular. Like you have to know what tools people are using. But I mean, I can already tell I'd rather use it for making a social media campaign. I'd probably, get it hashed out in Illustrator because I don't like having to stop and think every time I want to make a gradient. Like I want to be able to design and make it how I want it, and then I'll reverse engineer in Canva. That's how I design when I work with developers too, for like apps and stuff. I don't worry about how it's going to be coded, but yeah. This funky gradient. I can go over here and like, I think this will work. Make envelopes here. We'll just go to effects, distort, flag. No, it doesn't work. Anyway. So here I've got this gradient, and like that's my mental model of making gradients is sort of like making me feel frustrated right now because over here we've got this tool, and you can add as much colors as you want, which is nice. You can move them around, which is nice. But the UI is kind of weird for that. The little line appears and then they kind of like move around, and you can drag it around to see where it's going to end up. But like if I want that blue to fade off faster on this side than it does on this side, I can't do that without making adding another thing, right? So like add another one. I have to go over here and I have to figure out how to change the color to the exact, oh, you can select it. Okay, okay, now I'm gonna drag it over. I'm gonna make it a color that's somewhere in between those two manually. Kind of fun. I don't know. It's a different mindset. Just gonna stick a gradient on there. Stop complaining. So yeah, I was gonna make like a series of these that have different slogans and like pages that just sort of showcase the assets. I changed the text on here to be white so that you can put it on different backgrounds, and that's an asset now. That's like another. It probably exists somewhere already like that, but a lot of times as a designer, you'll go into an organization, you'll find their asset pack, and you'll see something in there that's broken and just fix it. And don't tell anybody. And like solving this one is a matter of just choosing the right colors. My favorite part of projects is this part I'm doing now in the beginning. Um, just sort of defining the look. That's kind of like when I feel like I'm doing what wanted to do when I started designing things. It's like just sort of making something work better. A lot of times there's not enough time for this part. Usually there isn't. So you gotta get good at being fast if you're gonna be working, and you want to be competitive. And also learning to know when to be fast and when not to. I'm terrible at that. This one's going to be another fork in my color palette rationale. At some point, I'm gonna lock it in. I'm saying I like this. This is another trick that there might be a way to do better in Canva, but I was pretty happy coming up with it because like sometimes you want to shade something and there's no way to like do masks and stuff. So if you make an object like a square, this is a rectangle from the elements menu. Here, let's do a circle real quick. And then you fill it with a gradient like this. Then you go over here and when you edit the gradient, you have the option to turn down the transparency. So then you have an object that goes from color to clear. And you can put that in your design and have it just kind of function as a way to shade a big area rather than it doesn't have to behave as an object. It can behave as a shading. I think once if you figure out what you want to do and you get comfortable, I think you could probably do anything in Canva that you could anywhere else. Some things might be harder, but the thing that I worry about is that like they get rid of kerning and get rid of good gradients and stuff. And I think my fear is that that would sort of influence the culture too much. But I don't think the people who are driving culture, yeah, I don't know if it matters. I don't know. I'm always overthinking that kind of stuff. It's my job.
Can you do text cutout in Canva?
Text cutout? You mean like turning it into vectors?
Meaning that it's like when you have like a picture,
Yeah.
right? And you put the text on top of that and the the feel, how do you say?
Gradient?
No, instead of the feeling of a solid color is the feeling
Yeah,
of a picture.
I know exactly what
I
you're
don't know how to
saying.
call it. I'm sorry. Just like
No, it's like for example, like say I wanted that to be a picture inside some text. Make it get something that has some beef to it, so it's like an actual window. There we go. Um, and in Illustrator, it's pretty easy. I'm doing a couple of things here that I'm not explaining, but you just select both items and you make a mask. This is what you're talking about, right?
yes, I didn't know how to call it. I know it has to do with math, but
Um, but in Canva, I don't know how to do that, and I would be really surprised if there wasn't a way. Anna, do you know how to do this?
What are we
I'm
asking?
trying to figure out how to mask a picture inside of text in Canva, or just masking in general?
There are some frames that maybe, let me see here. If you go to elements and maybe look up letter frames. I feel like I've seen them before. I don't think it's too easy
Yeah.
to do something like this. But okay, I did find some letters. And what you can do is you can add a photo within the letter.
Oh, is it one of the, is it in Elements?
I'm on page 10 here, and
Okay.
just to show an example, I don't think I have, let me just look for a random photo. So you want some plants within there, you could do that.
Okay. I mean, that's it. That's exactly what we want.
Something.
Does it work if you have more than one letter? Like, does it go across the letters?
You would have to go to elements and look up letter frames, and I'm seeing E, R, I would assume they have all of them, but they're already made for you.
Huh.
I'm seeing here there's a frame maker that you can, it says create custom frames and image mask in Canva, but I haven't used it myself.
Okay. Let's get to the bottom of this, because masks and gradients, that's my whole deal. That's all I need to design.
Sorry, actually, I deleted it, but I don't know if we wanted it there.
Oh, it's okay. I'm gonna see if I can get there myself. So I've got this text, and I go to Elements, and then it's in text frames, you said?
If you go to elements and you go to the search bar to search elements and look up letter frames, they should come up.
Okay. Oh, Frame Maker is a plugin. I see.
Right, I haven't used it myself, so maybe I should use it just to see how it works.
Maybe there's something in the effects. There's not much in the way of type effects, is there?
What was it?
I'm in the effects of the type, and there's only 10 styles, and that's it. And there's like, you can't really.
Right, I would assume it'd be very complicated.
Yeah. Now you got me thinking, Lily, if there's a way to work around for this. I mean, that would really change my opinion of the whole thing. Give me a second. I'm gonna look it up.
I think I'm done with my design. I feel like
Okay.
I went kind of basic, but I feel like that's what I know.
Is it which frame is it?
Page 9.
Oh, nice. I like how you did the text going over her head. How'd it go? What do you think?
I think you did a really great job. I was trying to do something different because you already provided so many examples. So I was like, oh, how else can I restructure the text and do something different to add to this assignment? And I think for me, one of the things that I thought about is just kind of like a reintroduction into this workshop series for, say, for next time the series happens, just like a little explanation of what it is.
Yeah.
And so that's why I feel like for me, this was like the biggest thing that I feel like could add to or reach a broader audience and join and adding like the this week's guest so folks are aware that that's the guest for that week and that there's potential for other guests. And so it's kind of like a stay tuned feature for next week's guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really helpful. I mean, like, that's UX. You're pointing out things that weren't working for you as a user, and you're absolutely right. It doesn't really say what it is. I mean, it says the title of what it is, and you can kind of infer, but yeah, that biweekly work. I mean, that is really really good, and I also like that font you chose. That's the same font that
Thank
you've been
you.
using in your stuff, huh?
No, actually, I was trying to apply it to this one here. I was just messing with some different fonts and I like this Roca one here at the top, which I didn't get a chance actually to apply to the this week's guest portion, but I feel like it kind of gives me the same vibe as the West LA college font. And so it's kind of what I was going for. Just
Yeah.
to so that we could really have that nice contrast with the bubbly letters in the chewy font.
Mhm.
Or that's what I like to do, just combine something really I guess like harsher lines with something really bubbly. I feel like it makes it pop a little.
Yeah. Font pairings is like the sort of one of the designer's chef kiss sort of skills. Um, Once somebody's thinking about good font pairings, you know that they've arrived. There's a website that I use a lot. I think I'm only sharing Canva, right?
We're looking at Illustrator, right?
Oh, you're still in Illustrator. Oh my God. Oh, I was sharing your design while we were talking.
No worries.
When I met Margaret Toe on we had a call to talk about the workshop, and I did the whole meeting with my camera off, and it was just me and her, and I had no idea. And every time I'd say something, she would kind of like look confused. I was so embarrassed. It's okay though.
Bye, P.
Taking off. See you later.
Bye, y'all. Thank you.
Always good to see you. Oh, did you want to talk about your design first? Nope.
I think she has class at
Oh,
6.
the A, nice.
Oh yeah.
See, that A stands out. It's beautiful. It's so simple.
Yes. So yeah, it's been since your question that I haven't been sharing the right screen. Yeah, you're right. And there's got to be a way to do it. I can't figure it out. But now I'm kind of like I need to figure it out. This is honest design. And when I said I like that font, it's that one that where it says this week's guest. That's the font that I keep bringing up with the Whole Earth catalog. It's not the exact same font, but it
Mm.
for me it's kind of encapsulating this moment uh in climate communication. It's like I'm very well trained to look at like a market and see what the trends are that are happening in it. And I see that font used a lot. And I don't even know if there's a connection to the Whole Earth catalog, but it's a good one. I like that connection. So like, yeah, this is me just making connections, and it's like a creative exercise, and it's really useful in brainstorming sessions or brand voicing kind of things. But it's not always true. But I think about the Whole Earth catalog being like sort of counterculture moment when people started to notice that the planet was not being taken care of, and it's our common home. So they created this magazine with all kinds of information about how to live off the land, grow your own food, all that stuff. And that's sort of where the Back to Earth movement came from. So using that same font that they were using is really good for right now. Right now, to me, that expresses this moment in design where climate communications have been failing for 30 years, since the 90s, because it's all about guilt. It's all about like all the stuff that everybody hates about progressives or liberals. They don't like guilt. They don't like softness or whatever, you know. Um, so the sort of return to the roots, to me, it feels like a good design choice. Like it's recalibrating. What are we doing here? We care about the earth and we're not getting it right. Let's go back to the roots. And that's what I feel from it.
Oh yeah, thanks for sharing that. Yeah, that's I since I don't really have a lot of that context. Yeah, I just wonder how designs, like what people think of when they see a design, say that I create, and you hope, right, that it's forming a positive connection or resonating with people. So
Yeah.
it's cool to hear that.
I also like the way it plays a little bit with the layout that's forming here is a lot more like a magazine layout, like for a cover. And
Mhm.
that's also interesting to think about. Yeah, some of this information has been playing at that sort of like layout strategy just because it's a similar amount of text that you'd find on a magazine cover.
Right, for sure. Yeah, I was thinking of maybe putting the climate marketing at the bottom and the photo at the top. And
Yeah.
I was thinking of doing some other funky stuff, but this is the just something basic that I could do.
I also like the overall light background. It gives me the feeling that it's like printed on something like the copy machine before you're going out to a protest, you know, like where it's like it feels like it has the language of sort of like DIY.
For sure. Yeah, I wanted to use, and I was struggling. I was like, I don't know if I want to make this pink, um, or if that's too much like, if that's not enough contrast. So I went back and forth, and I couldn't decide. But ultimately, I ended on the green to give it that contrast. I also debated if I wanted this white, um, choices, right?
Yeah.
And then I thought, yeah, I don't think that's enough contrast.
Yeah, I think the blue ink on lavender paper is the vibe I'm getting, and I like that combo. This is good. Too bad he had to leave. Some interesting moves here. Hmm. I like that orange. I'm like a kid in a candy store with colors. It always helps if there's somebody on the team restraining me. And there always will be.
Yeah, I would love a to know how I tried to change Margaret's photo on my flyer, to a different color, but it just looked very saturated. I would love to know how you get it to that point where it just looks very clear. The duotone is so, I don't like using it. I feel like it's very tedious having to kind of remember like the RBG code, or RGB or RBG. I forget.
RGB.
RGB code, type it in, and I don't know, something about it is just doesn't feel right. So I don't use it, but I really like it, or the way that you've done it here. So I'd love to know how we can. I
Yeah,
kind of wanted this purple or like a pink.
the skin color.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I'm going to duplicate your board here. And then, like, so there's a couple tools you have available. I'm going to start by getting rid of the duotone here. I think if I click it here, it'll turn off, right?
I think you put none, and then it'll go back to.
Where do I put none?
So go back to duotone,
Oh, yeah.
and then at the very top it says
Oh,
none.
awesome.
Yes.
Okay. I think I might have done it on this image already, but if you go to adjust image, and you have some like basic tools here. I already adjusted the contrast on this one. The thing is, I'm not sure. I'm about to find out. What happened was I did the duotone and then I adjusted the contrast after, and it didn't respect my color palette. It like changed the contrast of the color. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try editing the photo and then applying the duotone and seeing if it respects the color more. But like her hair is very dark, so I'm thinking maybe I could get a little bit of detail here if I turn up the shadows a little bit. This looks very ugly for color, but we're going to get rid of the color. We're just looking for values. Maybe a little bit more brightness, maybe. You can see her cheek is blowing out. We're pushing it too far. So we'll go to edit. And now when I do the duotone, yeah, it worked. It's not putting the contrast on the color. So these are the options this is how I do it. I choose my dark color and it's already in my scene. So I'm going to sample the text. Oh no, it's not working. You see how the blue is way lighter? That's because the contrast setting is applying to the blue rather than the photo underneath it. Let's see here. I'm gonna start with a new Margaret. Heck. Copy. Paste. You could also try just going into the duotone tool and I was having a lot of trouble because I wanted like a alternate of Margaret for Rachel, and the move was to make her pink, and it's a lot harder to get the pink working than it is the turquoise or whatever. For me, it was harder, but it might just been because it was 2 in the morning. So now I have like a basic one. That thing I was talking about, like if this was lavender paper and you put it through a copy machine that only could do blue, I think that would be a cool look. But now I can go in here and grab that highlight color and push it a little bit lighter. So it's the same color, but it's popping off a little bit more. Another thing I can do is, oh no, I can't. If it was a gradient, I could start adding more stops, but you can't do that on the duotone. So yeah, what I would do at that point would be to adjust the image, but it messes up the color. Yeah.
I don't even know if I like the purple either. I think what was it before? It was like a green.
Yeah, let me see what I did. I had it
Or in my version of the flyer.
oh, yeah.
I think I like the green. It took me seeing it purple. It just kind of blends in.
Yeah, I have the experience. I have grown accustomed to liking this experience. Like when I was asking Rachel about her the campaign that they did for the foods, the soil uh campaign. There's something about it that was kind of like a naive quality, like the way that she was doing the spacing on the letters that it just it didn't look right, but she did it that way in every single one, so it became right. And it's a way of saying that you know better, and I I feel like it's a good thing to do, especially in this field, because it's a lot of young people, and there's a counterculture element to it. So like this idea of just making somebody turquoise, it's a harsh move. Like it's just like it feels like something that somebody would do just to get attention, and that's the point right now. I'm like giving props to myself. I don't mean to do that.
I feel like it's in right now too to um I don't know, I feel like blurry stuff are into kind of like a little distorted effect, or at least from what I've seen. And using this kind of like duotone images, I feel like are popular right now.
I've seen it around too. I have this sort of objective in my head of having that climate marketing text just fill the whole space and like sort of like occupy as much space as it can. Um, but the font is so clunky that I I've been sitting here doing this a lot. It's my fault. Every single bit of it is my fault. Like I have this sort of system where the text is getting cut off by something that's the same color as it, and that means nothing to anybody except for me. And I'm like trying to follow that rule everywhere. Um, I don't know. It's kind of fun. This is what's fun about design. See, like an Illustrator, I could select that object and then select that one, and they're both blue, so I could change them together. But I can't do that on here because text blue is different than object blue. So you have to go back over here and open the object color palette. What else do we have? Anybody else do one? Get it? We're all in different kinds of systems and everything. Oh, there's an, you inspired me with that lavender. Now I'm gonna get that look of low ink, low color choice budget aesthetic. It reminds me of like a yearbook class where you're learning how to design a yearbook and designing a yearbook at the same time. So Michelle's going to come talk on Thursday, and I'm so excited to hear about her project. It sounds so cool to me. I didn't plan it this way, but to me, what she's doing is what solar punk is about. And I think that's pretty self-evident. You could say anything is solar punk. If it's DIY, if it's optimistic, hopeful, if it's about community, through the lens of climate change, it's futuristic. That's all solar punky. But I like this iteration of it, and I'm excited for y'all to see it. And then, yeah, next week we'll be finishing up and looking at our designs that we created together. And I know that we're all super busy with our schedules, and this is not a credit course, so I'm compassionate to your situation. Just come with something to talk about, and that's it. It's easy. Just something to talk about, and we help each other that way. Yeah. I'm gonna get going here, and if anybody has any questions or concerns or anything, they can always email me, casey@smiling.graphics. I'm here for you.
That's so sweet. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Casey.
much. Yeah.
Okay. We'll see y'all later. Good night.
Okay, good night.